I write the episode number on each of the scripts. So I'm like, I don't make the same mistake. All right, everyone got it, and then we're ready to go once Deontay gets back to him. We'll give him a second.
I'm good. I feel like I should just relocate.
Oh boy.
Rishi, I like your setup, man. That's like sports bar kind of like.
Thank you.
I was going to say the same thing. That's super nice.
Thank you.
Is that a bottle of alcohol too?
We got the Howler head from Vegas. I kept the bottle since it's something you can't get in Indy.
Rishi's got his UFC money.
I have no money currently.
Hey man, just get some aviation gin and maybe you'll get some money from Ryan Reynolds. Who knows?
All right.
That's what all these people are doing now.
Investment.
Yep. How about Wrexham? No, okay. Love that show though, by the way.
That show is good. I just started watching it. It's great. It doesn't compare to Ted Lasso though yet. Still.
See, I have to get Apple TV Plus. Like I have to get.
That's my Halloween costume tonight. I'm going as Ted Lasso, and my roommate is going as Coach Beard. So so it's a good show. If none of you have seen it, we might need to have a full episode.
I want to see it.
It's fun.
Are you gonna crank out a mustache before this evening?
No, I bought a fake one, man. I can't grow facial hair. I'm young. It's unfortunate. All right, guys. I think we're ready to go. We all ready here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome back to the SMC Around the Board show. I know we missed last week. We missed a lot. Just was a rough week for all, but we're ready. We're back. We've got a lot to talk about today, spanning from I feel like almost every sport's covered on here, other than Rishi's one time of international dart throwing. We missed that one. We're going to talk about that Thursday night game last night. We have a panic or remain calm section for some NFL teams that have currently had some struggles so far. The NFL trade deadline is closing in the coming days. So you're going to recap some of the guys that were traded to teams, and then there's some other players who we've highlighted that are rumored to be traded. Like I say, rumors. I'm not telling you that they're going to be traded, so don't go make any fantasy changes. Then we're going to go over some college football. Where do they end up? The top 25 rankings before bowl games. The NBA season tipped off last week, so we'll get on to some NBA topics. We got some good ones. And then we're going to wrap it on up with some World Series predictions. And we're going to tell you guys how wrong we were when we predicted the World Series 4 weeks ago. So I think we're all ready to go. Starting off, we had a thriller Thursday night last night. I did not write down the official score, so let me pull that up real quick. I want to say it was 27-21. I think I nailed that one on the head, maybe. Yes, 27-22. The Buccaneers lost for the fourth straight game, this time at the hands of the Ravens. Tom Brady was 26 for 44, 325 yards and a touchdown, while Lamar Jackson was 27 for 38 with 238 yards and 2 touchdowns. What are your guys' takeaways from the game after last night?
You want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. The game last night, I kind of feel like with the off the field situations with Tom Brady, it's starting to show, and Father Time's starting to show. So you have the same situation for Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady. You got injuries up the yin-yang. You have but different kinds of injuries. Bucks have that offensive line, which I'm very surprised that he's only been sacked. He'll only sacked 3 times, to be honest, according to the stats at least. But you got, I don't know what's the rate. Lamar Jackson can do anything with any wide receiver, any tight end. It's like you get rid of Hollywood Brown. Oh well. Yeah, what's the Cardinals' record with Hollywood Brown right now? You got to look at just Harbaugh and how he coaches that team, and he has the experience. He has He has the moxie to go on the road Thursday night, big primetime game, and beat the Buccaneers. But coming up, I'll tell you that it's not a worry for the Buccaneers. But they are 3-5. But as some of us mentioned before the show, they're not out of that race by any means necessary. So I was hoping that Chris Godwin would actually get some more throws to him just for personal reasons. But the one thing I cannot fathom is that first drive for the Buccaneers. I believe it was 6 rushes for Leonard Fournette. You had 8 rushes the rest of the game. So what the heck happened? They scored a touchdown on their first drive, and then you don't give it to Leonard Fournette. I'm sorry. It's like, what are you afraid he's going to get injured? It's like, what do you have to lose at this point? The wide receivers getting older. Mike Evans, still Mike Evans. Chris Godwin, still Chris Godwin. But after that, who do you have? You don't have Gronk anymore for Brady. You don't have that safety net. There is a big difference between having Todd Bowles as the coach. You can tell you have the complete freedom for Tom Brady, but he has to have some limits from coaches, from Belichick and Arians have given him. So that was, and Lamar Jackson was solid as usual in the second half. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
The first half, I thought Tom Brady, the Bucs, they looked pretty good on that first drive, and I honestly thought, I was like, okay, this might be a blowout, because I believe like the first 3 drives were Baltimore. It was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then in the second quarter they didn't even score. Baltimore didn't score, nor did Tampa Bay, and then in the second half, Baltimore just kind of turned it on. Lamar Jackson started throwing to the rookie Isaiah Likely, who had 77 yards that game. Just kind of turned it on, and basically they took the lead. Once they took the lead, they kind of didn't look back. And then I know the Tampa Bay in the fourth quarter tried to get back in the game, but at that point it was over. I thought Lamar Jackson basically did Lamar Jackson things, pretty much looked good, didn't turn the ball over, which I was very happy about that. And I thought Tom Brady still looked exceptionally well. I mean, he had 325 yards and a touchdown, but the offense just looks very stagnant. But Mike Evans had 123 yards, which is pretty impressive. But and something's going to have to change. I'm not sure what it is. The Bucs just don't look right. But to me, they kind of have like the same offense without excluding Gronk. But they kind of have everyone else still, and they can get maybe Julio more involved and maybe just switch up the offense a little bit, because it looks very stagnant, and get the running game going.
Yeah,
Rishi, would you wanna go here?
Going into the game, I saw it going like this. Like I was like, the Baltimore secondary is going to get burned by the Buccaneers receivers, and then the Bucs defense will be able to hold Baltimore at bay, and then Tampa will be able to close it out with a Leonard Fournette run game. And first few drives, it kind of seemed like, okay, this might happen. And then Baltimore almost got stopped on third down like a few times, even on that drive where they went and got that first field goal. But then, I almost wonder if the offensive adjustments that just aren't really working for the Bucs this season, maybe that's kind of showing that losing Bruce Arians was a bigger deal than maybe we were talking about. But I don't know. I think the biggest thing is injuries coming out of this game. 2 big injuries: Mark Andrews, Shaq Barrett, and I think that's a reason why a team like the Chargers just isn't going to be as good this year, because they're pretty banged up, and so it's not good for the Bucs for sure, losing Shaq Barrett, and then Mark Andrews, depending on how long he's out, that could be bad for them, for the Ravens.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett is out for the rest of the season. 9 months was the firm timeline I saw. Mark Andrews is undiagnosed currently, so we have no clue what's going on. Deontay, do you have something?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was very impressed with the Ravens that they were able to pull that off because they were looking to get Mark Andrews involved like very early in the game. Like first three plays like went to him before he got injured. But for them to win the game with basically he's the best receiver on the team, best like second best offensive player on their team, and they're still able to pull that off. I was very impressed with that, honestly.
Well, you guys have kind of summed it up, but I do have some more interjection points. Of course, those lovely analytics, as Rishi knows, are coming back into play. Going into this game, Tampa Bay ranked 32nd in it's EPA's extra points added, correct, Rishi?
Yeah,
I always want to check and make
I
sure.
think.
Extra points added. They rank dead last in rush per play type EPA. Dead
Expected,
last.
I think. Expected points.
Expected points added. Dead last. I'm going to tell you who's above them, and you guys are going to say why. Carolina's above them. Carolina is above them.
If they're dead last, then everyone's above them.
Exactly. That's my point. They're the worst team. They're the worst rushing team in the NFL, and they have done nothing to remedy it. Now, you can say offensive line injuries. You lost Alex Kappa. You lost a few crucial guys. It doesn't matter. They just don't know how to. They don't know how to cook the offense correctly with running. And I honestly think that it's beyond repair at this point. I think you just have to go to spread style offense, or even when you line Leonard Fournette up in the backfield, just throw just dink and dunk your way down the field. I mean, Tom Brady's the greatest dink and dunker of all time. I mean, he did it for 12 odd years in New England. I mean, just do it. But from the Baltimore side, I would stamp it that I think Baltimore will win the AFC North currently. They just look like the most complete, healthy, great defense. Their offense, I mean, Greg Roman, just round of applause. Devin Duvernay rushing touchdowns. I mean, they'll throw the kitchen sink at you. I mean, they got a backup tight end, got 77 yards and a touchdown. I mean, they're just great. I think the Bucs. I hate like 7 weeks in. It's like we can all talk about like flash in the pan teams, and I just think the Bucs maybe they had a time frame of like 2 to 3 years with Tom Brady to win a Super Bowl or go home, and I think that time frame has finally expired, and I think everyone's kind of realizing it. And like Matthew said, some people are getting older, so I mean, I think maybe it's time to ride the Bucs. The Bucs hype train might have to ride the wave and to go.
Yeah, they just look very, very bad. I mean, they got a Super Bowl a couple years ago, but now I don't know. And I feel like they maybe could add like a little speed back behind Leonard Fournette and just not rely on Leonard Fournette so much because he's just a power back. And I think some of the things that they try to do with him, it doesn't work out. And if he's not running, like if he's not having a great game, then it's not going to go well for him. It doesn't get any better. You can't really change it up.
Can we get Darren Sproles out of retirement? He's still probably going to be faster than anybody on the running back side for the Bucs.
All right.
No, yeah. If you're in any of my fantasy leagues, close your ears real quick. But I think Rachaad White is going to become a bigger part of that offense.
Thanks for that, man.
He's not available in our league. I would
yeah.
know. I was just on the waiver wires.
Oh, I was submitting some trade requests. That's why I brought it up.
I will say I think the big sticking point of me saying that I think the Bucs are maybe done for is you could put a fork in their defense right now and I wouldn't be mad about it. Their defense has been pretty sad for the past 2 years. Last night they were missing 2 corners and a safety going into the game. Also, they now have lost a linebacker for the rest of the season. Already in a very depleted linebacker room with White, and he's not really a pull runner. If nobody knows what a pull runner is, he's just a guy who's all over the middle of the field. I like to say Fred Warner is the best pull runner in the NFL because that man is just on every blade of grass on the field at all times of the game. But, it's tough. They're going to have a lot of guys step up. Their defensive line's great. But, you got to win with that back half of the defense too. So, that's where my concern still remains with them. Rishi did have to step away for just 1 second. He'll be back though real quick. I think, are we all set on the Thursday night game, and we want to get on into this panic and remain calm segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
All right. Well, I like to make new segments. I like to do fun things. We've had a lot of teams this season that have been bad, ladies and gentlemen. A few that have looked better as the season's progressed, and there's some that are. I almost wanted to make this section like panic, remain calm, and oh my goodness, what are they doing? Because
Burn
oh
the
my
house
goodness,
down.
what are they doing? What are they doing? Falls in for the New York Football Giants and the Seahawks, who are just obliterating teams.
Yes.
But we went with panic or remain calm. I'll list out the teams before we get into it. Of course, we have the aforementioned Buccaneers, the Green Bay Packers, the Baltimore Ravens, the Broncos, the Colts, the Rams, and the Cardinals. These teams all feel like, we're in the conversation for could be really good this season, and have all just maybe slipped below, or maybe they're still above that line of concern for their fan bases. I know we just talked about the Bucs, so we're going to come back to them last. I want to start out with the Packers, who have a huge matchup this week against the Bills. Are we panicking, or are we remaining calm?
You want to go first, or you want me to go?
Whoever would like to go first can go.
I think for the Packers, it's time to panic, because anytime you have Aaron Rodgers on your team, you're expected to win a championship. And I don't even think they're going to win that division. I think the Vikings are. They just haven't played very well, and they might get ran off the field against Buffalo this weekend. It's just not looking good for them, unless those receivers can turn it on. But I just don't think this year. I think you have to give it another year before those guys can develop and bring it all together, maybe bring some other guys in. I think it's definitely time to panic for the Green Bay Packers.
I think I wish you had an option to stay pat for right now, not panic or remain calm. But the Packers, I put it on the panic side because, well, first of all, are they even the second best team in their own division? I'm sorry. Have you looked at? I know the Bears looked absolutely putrid on offense minus last week, but look at their record. The Bears are still in it. The Lions, no. But that defense, until they fix that defense, their offense is totally fine with St. Brown and now Swift getting back from injury. But the Packers, you have Alan Lazard's officially out this week, which pretty much gives you the only one that Rodgers trusts now is Aaron Jones. That's their only offense.
Can't forget Sammy Watkins. You can't forget Sammy Watkins.
Oh boy, yeah.
I don't think he's
Mister, if I turn right, I hurt my hamstring. But it's I'll lean towards panic because Minnesota has been pretty good for a while, even when Diggs was back on the team. Before they even traded him away. You had Adam Thielen, he just has to get healthy. Dalvin Cook, same thing. Kirk Cousins always been, maybe not in primetime games, but he's been solid. And you got that defense led by Barr. You got all the perfect pieces to win the NFC North. And they are, I'm not sure if they're ready to win in the playoffs, but they're able to win that NFC North. Especially if they can lean on Dalvin Cook, you have to think about, okay, Aaron Jones, what is he? They're going to start double, triple teaming him, basically like Christian McCaffrey when he was on the Panthers. All right. But it's like Packers have nobody else. Yeah. Sammy Watkins. Oh boy, we have to think about, oh boy, Sammy Watkins might go off. When is he, in the last couple of years, when has he gone off for any game? And
it's always week one. You forget about the Sammy Watkins week one. Sammy Watkins week 1. I'm taking that man every time he plays in week 1.
Yeah, it's just, but yeah, the reason I put in the middle is because remember, they're in the NFC. They're not in the AFC. They still have Aaron Rodgers, even though I am not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I will say that right now, but Aaron Rodgers, you still got to respect his play. You still got to respect how good he is. And that's how it's going to come down to him, and he knows it. So
to me, I still have them as a playoff team, as a wild card team right now, but they're also like in the perfect. You're giving me the what's that called, the face palm, Alex. But if you look at the teams they got to go against, it's like whoever's second place in the NFC South. Those NFC
God,
West,
I would take a team in the NFC South currently. I'm
and
thinking,
the Giants. But so I mean, yeah, right now, like whatever, maybe 7th seed I have them, but they're also in a perfect position to like trade away some picks and buy in now to make a push, because I don't know, once Aaron Rodgers is done, like you're gonna have to start rebuilding anyways and sell off pieces then anyway. So you might as well go all in now and try to at least, maybe you can put together a run at the end of the year. But it makes no sense to leave the team as is now. What are you gonna do? Be 500 with Aaron Rodgers? What's the point?
I mean,
call up Pittsburgh, man. You got to call up Pittsburgh. That's right now. You have a chance to get somebody.
All right. Every show I have my lovely tangent on teams that I think are just abysmal, and Green Bay is floating that way this week. I think they're terrible. I mean, I just would love to say it out loud. I think their defense is ranked 25th in DVOA. I'm just going to name a team that's higher than them currently. One we just mentioned, Pittsburgh is higher than them. New Orleans, Detroit has given up the most points in the NFL this season, and they have a higher defensive DVOA than the Packers.
Their defense is not that bad. They've given up a lot of points. They give
up a lot of points, but still they lose games. That's my point. They're way below them. The Bears conversation of, are the Bears better? The Bears are the biggest flash in the pan next to the New York Football Giants this year. Like, let's just talk about winning games in the worst ways possible. Oh yeah, we beat Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones, baby, on Monday Night Football. Because Bill Belichick couldn't get him some Tyquan Thornton in his life in the game. I mean, Jaquan Brisker played out of his absolute mind. I'm full, like, if I am like a Packers fan, there's that meme where it's like the guy hitting the panic button. And we've all seen that meme. That is me, and I'm slapping that thing with like a full windup because this team is bad. Your quarterback went out on Pat McAfee the other day and said that everybody who's playing bad should be benched. He's playing bad himself, so he's saying he should be benched too. I mean, he throws a pass on, I want to say it's 4th down to Romeo Doubs, and the ball, he literally has to like land on his butt to catch the ball. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, everything seems like it should be right. Maybe, it's the fact that Nathaniel Hackett isn't coaching that offense anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that LaFleur doesn't know when to take a timeout. I don't know. But something is wrong, and I just feel like you're behind Minnesota. You're eventually playing whoever loses behind the Eagles in the NFC East, which right now the NFC East, good Lord, I wouldn't want to face any of those teams. I mean, you'll have Daniel Jones run for 240 yards on you on QB power. I mean, it's just like, it's like, I like the building is on fire in Green Bay. I feel like there's like, I got the conversation of, oh, let's go trade for Chase Claypool. Oh, let's go trade for this guy. Oh, let's go trade for that guy. Oh, their defense is just, I mean, like, you can only patch up so many holes in like the trade deadline. And I think they have a huge hole and nobody sees it yet, but I think it might be time to just say, let's just tank and let's actually go draft next year. Let's not like let's get little picks here that these guys are going to be great. Their cornerback room has been the biggest example of this. I mean, Jair Alexander, fantastic. Rasul Douglas, has been horrible this year. If I lined up against Rasul Douglas and I was any wide receiver in the NFL, I know I'm absolutely cooking him on 99% of the routes. 99%. I'm just saying, I think Green Bay I think you could put a fork in them and call it a season. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the Bears beat them in their matchup game this season somehow. That would be insane, but I'm like on the farthest side of panic, like fire alarms going off. Rishi, where were you? Were you in calm?
Which game are you talking about?
I was talking about the Packers.
Oh, for me, I mean,
we're doing the panic or remain calm section.
It's hard to say remain calm. Like I tell them to go make a move, but okay, I'll say panic, whatever.
Yeah, we're all in on panic. Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
I'm panicked at how high you are on the Bears, though. I'll say that. I'm panicking.
That's just because
you got to
Matt Eberflus. It's Matt Eberflus, man. I don't know what you're talking about. We're just gonna run hard. We're gonna hit them, baby. We're just gonna play some good old hard football. We're gonna play cover 2. We're gonna beat you in cover 3. We're just gonna stick to our shell and we're not gonna get out of it. And Jaquan Brisker's gonna pick you off twice. I mean, it's just great football. When they finally learned how to run with Justin Fields, it was like the heavenly light shone down onto Matt Eberflus. And then he's like, "You are the chosen one, Matthew. You are the chosen one. You have been brought to this earth to come save Bears football." That's at least how I imagine Bears Twitter during that game.
You're absolutely chugging the Flus juice right now.
Definitely.
Dude, I don't like Matt Eberflus. I don't like that kind of coach because that's how Frank Reich is. But they're chugging along. So, I'm not gonna say anything bad until, they got the first pick in the NFL draft again. So on past that, we have another team that played last night on Thursday Night Football, the Ravens. I feel like the conversation, it's this one's mildly panicked more than like a complete panic. I mean, if you are panicked, I'm going with calm. I think the Ravens are okay. They look great. Everything's good.
They're good. 5-3. I think they're going to win the division, especially with Jamar Chase getting hurt. Lamar Jackson looks really good. They should have won 2 of the games that they've lost. They just can't keep a lead, I guess, but I think they'll be fine.
The fourth quarter. That's that. You just eliminate the fourth quarter from both of those games, and they're undefeated.
I know, right?
I think Ravens. Like I said, Harbaugh leads that team. It's not Lamar Jackson. It's not. You always gotta lean on Harbaugh, and I haven't seen once in these so many years to panic on a Ravens team, especially when you like Deontay said, you have Chase going down with an injury. But I would say that Baltimore has their own injury issues. All right. They can't keep a running back healthy to save their life besides Lamar Jackson. You have once again that wide receivers, you're going to have to rely on that defense. And even with Cincinnati though, losing Chase, you still have Boyd and Higgins. I'm sorry. It's like Boyd can step in, maybe not be Jamar Chase, but can be a solid 2. Higgins can have games. And the Ravens, I put them as keep it calm. Obviously, they're 5-3 for Pete's sake, but it's like I'm not even thinking about remaining calm if you're 1 game below 500, right? Or panicking with your 1 game below 500 right now. So it's just you got to trust in Harbaugh. There's tons of people available they can add to their offense, defense, and my man Justin Tucker. I'm sorry, most clutch man since Vinatieri. So that's what it comes down to in the playoffs. So
that's a good point.
No.
You got it.
No, I was saying Justin Tucker is the GOAT.
Oh yeah, no, he's probably the best in the game right now.
until he makes it to as many Super Bowls as Vinatieri, I still think Vinatieri is the best. But that was a little Tom Brady. Tom Brady helped just a little bit with that. So
I'm putting my money on Jason Hansen as the GOAT kicker. I don't think you can put that on my hot take record, but that's one of my hot takes.
We'll revisit that one in 10 years, Rishi.
Well, then he'll be even more removed. But I don't know. On the Ravens, I'm totally calm on them. I'm not like all in on the Ravens, or I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna come out of the AFC or anything, but they're gonna be in the playoffs. I am actually kind of surprised just in general, like the public discourse on the Lamar max contract thing. To me, he's like the most obvious max contract guy ever. I don't know why Baltimore wouldn't give him a max. But yeah, I think they're gonna be fine.
He deserves a max. If they make the playoffs this season, win a playoff game, that max is locked up. If not, the Baltimore Ravens are stupid and they let him walk, and the NFL burns down in flames 2 days later.
Detroit
another team that is busting out in flames this season, the Denver Broncos. If you would just like to hear me talk about the Denver Broncos, flip to another episode. Every episode this season, I'm pretty sure I've cooked the Broncos in some way, shape, or form. They are 2-5 currently, dead last in the AFC West, behind a team who actually has a worse record in the Las Vegas Raiders at 2-4. So
that's right.
Let's ride.
We're definitely panicking on the Broncos. They can't score to save their lives. They just don't look good at all. I think maybe you trade some of your assets and like try to start over next year with Russell Wilson. But yeah, this year it's a no go. I don't even think they make the playoffs, especially in the AFC. Like there's too many good teams. They're done for.
This ain't calm. This ain't panic. This is burn the house down and buy a dang new house. All right. You are relying on it's right now over in England. It was God save the Queen, God save the King, God save the Broncos. All right. They are coming down to, oh no, we have to beat the Jaguars. Now think about that. Except for 1 year, what year was that they made the AFC Championship game?
2016.
2016. So it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it's just like, hey, I like the Jaguars. I actually secretly I picked them even before Matt Ryan went down to win the AFC South. And yes, I'm in Indianapolis. Yes, I don't care. But when you start looking at this Broncos team, you're starting to say, there's some people on sports radio saying, let's trade Jerry Jeudy. Let's trade all this. Like, first of all, how old is Jerry Jeudy? Like 23? Like, why in the heck would you trade him, first of all? And also, the question is, will their head coach even make the get out of London? I'm just saying, would even the Broncos even pay for his ticket at this point? Because you still have that voice of John Elway up in that box. You see him every single Sunday up there. Okay, Russ, you have Russell Wilson. Even though he's looked bad and he's had an injury last week, he still was the only good part on the offensive side for the Seahawks for many years, besides Marshawn Lynch. Okay. And let's go back to that Super Bowl where it's run the dang ball, but still, you gotta think about, like, first of all, you have Melvin Gordon on that team. I'm sorry, did he like turn into Reggie Bush and like fall off the face of the earth for being a running back on this in the NFL? I'm sorry, like, you got to get. I know they've had injuries, but team has got to start running that football again. They're getting too heavy on that pass, and they don't have the weapons, and they don't have the coach on offense to do it.
Yeah, you said they've got the voice of Elway up in that box. I think you also got the voice of Brock Osweiler up in the box. He's doing commentary now. They should probably
bring him down. Bring him down, please.
Yeah, they should probably give him a call. No, but I'm gonna flip this on you, Alex. I think instead of panic, they need to remain calm. No need, I think panic like kind of it's assuming that there's some expectation with the team, like, oh, we're panicking because we thought we were gonna be good and now we suck. It's like at this point you just suck. Like there's no more expectations with
there's
team.
no expectations. There are no expectations. I would like to recap the trade that they sent to the Seahawks.
For sure.
Like if we had an editor, I would say pop this thing up as a meme because they sent the house for this man, and they're 2-5.
That's what I'm saying.
And
like
it's new management. It's over. There's no expectation. Like all these guys could be gone tomorrow, and new management would not shed a tear.
That's what I'm saying. Like fan-wise, remain calm. Like everyone in that building, like is gonna be gone by the time you're winning again. So like, don't even worry about it. Just wait it out. But yeah, I don't know. The only people that should be panicking are the freaking Walden family. They just bought the team for however many billion, and I don't know.
They should start like a real fire in. Didn't they just have a real fire in their own stadium this past off season or something? Part of the seats or whatever, Mile High, started burning down. Was that a little foreshadowing? I'm sorry. Was that just like that was right along with that Wilson trade? I'm sorry, that was right near that time. So was even God sending him a message at this point? And Pete, I'm a big Pete Carroll fan. Yes, I'm a big USC fan. Pete Carroll made Matt Leinart look absolutely fantastic way back in the day. Was it some of it that we give Pete Carroll a lot of only credit for the defense, but did he make Russell Wilson look better? It's starting to look like that.
He made Russell Wilson a lot of millions from the Denver Broncos.
Exactly.
All I have to say is it is no more let's ride. It is we have fallen off the horse, been kicked by the horse, been trampled by the horse, and the horse is riding away by itself now. Now we're gonna skip on to the next team because I don't need to go into another tangent. Another team that involves a horse, one that is just a brisk walk away from, I assume, most of us. The Indianapolis Colts, who are now this week confirmed starting Sam Ehlinger against the Washington Commanders. Taylor Heineke plays Sam Ehlinger at the Battle of the Beast backup quarterbacks. Deontay, we got to change that whole. We got a lot to go over in quarterback world. We got a lot of dudes playing. We got Brett Rippon. I mean, we missed out on that. We Brett Rippon. Just all of them. I would like to open up the Colts discourse, and it is very similar to the Broncos. As in, I would be probably running around like a chicken with my head cut off. If I was their fan base, asking for them to do anything in this deadline, like anything, like just point blank, period, just anything. Like just go get somebody or get rid of somebody, because you have a chance now to either tank and maybe be like close to the top 10. The top 10 is weird this year because there are two traded picks, no matter what happens. So those 2 picks are protected, but you could still play for 5 through 10 currently. So just saying, Indianapolis might be that time to finally tank. We can't commit to anything. We can't commit. We're like a high school girlfriend and boyfriend. We are not ready to commit to anything ever. Let's just make a decision this year and say, all right, either we're riding with Matt Ryan.
That's my team, man. That's my team.
Sorry, they're up next. They're up next. I would take Matthew Stafford currently. Matt Ryan, or do we look to the future? Because there are, I want this to be noted, 3 college quarterbacks in the draft right now, and possibly with Seattle, where Seattle's picking and where Houston's picking, they may not take a quarterback. So I'm just saying, there's a good chance you can take a flyer on one of these guys in the top 10.
Yeah, for me personally, I think it's time for the Colts to panic. I know Sam, everybody, couple people are excited for him, but They Colts have expectations. They want to be part of the Super Bowl, maybe AFC Championship, and they just don't have the quarterback for it. Even if Sam Ehlinger is pretty good, like he still have a couple years before they can even like take him seriously and stuff like that. So it's time for them to definitely panic. And yeah, you got to either try to trade all your assets to get a good quarterback, which is not going to be smart, or you just tank. And right now, it'd probably be a good idea for them just to unload and start over, or unless you can get Andrew Luck out of retirement. That's all I got for them.
Rhymes with Aaron Rodgers trade.
Give up everything for him.
The house. We'll give up the stadium. We will trade you stadiums.
Hey, it's a nice stadium, man. I'm not sure if I would trade that, but I'm probably going to be against all three of you. I'm remaining calm. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm remaining calm. You have in that division, you have the no wide receiver to be found Titans. You have the Texans, give me a break. And you have Jacksonville, who's very talented, but the Colts just beat them. But I gotta say that the change from Matt Ryan to Sam Ehlinger may be unorthodox, but was warranted. This man right here, bring him in as QB over Matt Ryan, because he actually when he does it during the commercial break where he goes, throws it, hits that target. I'll tell you this, he threw one in the target. Matt Ryan probably could not hit that target. So I'm saying, and plus you have Jonathan Taylor back. You had Jonathan Taylor out for, I believe, 3 games, I believe it was, with injury, minus the one he actually got injured for. So God knows how well he did for the rest of that game. And you got to remember, you got a star wide receiver in Pittman Jr. You got Paris Campbell, who, by the way, looked very good against the Jaguars 2 weeks ago. But you got Hines. You got Hines as a backup running back. So the only problem I see with the Colts right now, their defense kind of like shows up or doesn't show up. Okay, depends on the day, but you have the weapons that the Broncos don't, the Packers don't, Ravens don't even have as many weapons as the Colts. Think about that. You have Lamar Jackson and put name here. You have nobody on that team. So that's why I'm saying remain calm. You are in the AFC South. You are not in the AFC North, which is still ironic to me, but just in that point across, you're in the AFC South. You are always in it till the last week. The Colts should know that from last year when they got beat by the Jaguars. So
yeah, I mean,
calm down.
Yeah, I'm kind of more on your side. I'm fairly calm on the Colts. Like, I don't see any reason why they couldn't win the division, although I do think they're going to be closer to a 500-ish team. Like, I don't know. Tennessee has kind of turned their season around after the first couple weeks. But yeah, I'm excited for Sam Ehlinger. I'm calm. I'm excited.
My only thing is they lost to Titans twice. They split with Jacksonville, and then they tied with Houston. So the next time they play Houston, we don't know how that's going to go. So the Colts they're not that great. Even though you remain calm, I just don't.
Well, they play them the last week of the year, don't they? Last week of the season is Texans and Colts.
Yeah, but last time they played it ended in a tie. So you don't look great. Let's think they can turn things around. I don't know.
It's still the Texans. I'm sorry. It's still the Texans.
That's what I thought week 1.
Yep. But hey, we didn't lose. We tied, even though I think I'd rather lose than tie, but that's just me.
This would be my face watching the Colts play in the playoffs.
I'm not disagreeing you.
I would like to throw anyone else in there. Throw like any dynamic team in and I'd be happy. We're like the least dynamic team. Like Sam Ehlinger is going to add a level of dynamicness to this team.
What he
I don't
can
know.
move?
I can't. Exactly. He's doesn't have like a train car attached to him that he can't run. All right, Matthew, I know this hits close to home, but is it time for the Rams to panic, or is it time for them to remain calm?
I think not. Well, we'll get to the. Never mind. We have the Cardinals on the slate, so I'll get to them when I get to them. To be honest, I'm remaining calm. I am, because we still have not played Seattle. I don't believe. Yeah, we haven't played Seattle yet. So we are in control of that destiny. I still don't believe until Geno Smith has a full year of doing what he's been doing. I'm sorry, I'm not trusting the Seahawks right now. Even with what they're doing on offense, which is fantastic. But you just got to remember, Rams, we are the defending champions. I'm sorry, that still counts for something. We are in the NFC. That counts for something. We are not going up against Josh Allen. We are not going up against Patrick Mahomes. Right now in the NFC, who's the best quarterback right now? Think about that.
Geno Smith.
Geno.
That's what.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah, Jalen. Yeah, behind Jalen Hurts, I should say. After Jalen Hurts, you could still say even with
and Daniel Jones. I forgot. Daniel Jones is a dynamic threat now.
Oh my god! But
you
Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford.
Oh yeah, dude. Where are all these guys coming from?
Yeah, yeah. But still, you got in that division. Yeah, you have Jimmy G, all that kind of stuff. But Matthew Stafford's still that best quarterback in that, and with the best history in that division. So it will come down to that. The one thing when we were talking about the Packers, Cam Akers may be going to the Packers. I'm just saying because we're done with Cam Akers. But for some reason that didn't work out. But we have the running game. I'm sorry, we have Cooper Kupp, who is best. I am saying this best wide receiver since Randy Moss. Right now, he is the.
Rishi doesn't want to talk about Cooper Kupp today, guys. Rishi doesn't want to talk about Cooper Kupp.
No, hold on. I'm talking about the fact that we just forgot Megatron existed.
Yeah, I guess he didn't exist.
But if you get the Rams, will do something at the trade deadline. They always do. Offense and defense. What is the phrase? Oh yeah, F them picks. Okay,
they don't have any picks to trade. Are we trading? Are we like the Oklahoma City Thunder now? We're trading in 2027. Yeah. We're like,
hey man, we have a first round pick, still a first round pick in 2027. Who cares? And what do you have that one with the Christian McCaffrey? They didn't even get a first round pick. So you just got the Rams are all in. The Rams are always all in. We're LA. All right. There's no, even though sometimes in our games it does not look like it, even at home, especially at home probably. But you still got to say the Rams, you still have Henderson. You still have Kupp. The only concern is that offensive line. We lost Andrew Whitworth. That was huge. Now Stafford is running for his life, and we just got it. I don't know how we're going to get an offensive lineman, but if you get an offensive lineman, you give Matthew Stafford time. You give Cooper Kupp time to get open, for Pete's sake. And from the Bears, Allen frickin' Robinson. Oh my God, what are we paying you for, first of all? And
gonna throw the ball.
Yeah, but
a heartbeat. That's what you're paying him for.
Yeah,
a heartbeat.
What, selling jerseys?
Jersey sales? Yeah.
Jersey sales, exactly. It's like jersey sales are the only thing right now. So I'm still remaining calm because they're LA. We're not the Chargers, all right? We're not the Chargers. We're not the second team in that building, all right? We're the Lakers to their Clippers. Okay? Even if the Lakers suck so bad right now. The Lakers are still the Lakers. Rams are still the Rams. The Rams are still the Rams. All right. They're the number one team in LA in the NFL. So I'm just saying, I'm keeping calm.
I agree. I'm actually calm on the Rams too. They still have, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford. They still got a lot of dudes on their team, and they're defending champs. Right now they're 500, so I think they're fine where they're at. Seahawks have to keep it going for the rest of the year. They do always struggle with the 49ers, but
we'll see this week. We'll see this week.
And then the Cardinals, they usually always beat up on the Cardinals. So I'm remaining calm on the Rams. I think, honestly, they'll finish out the year maybe first place in that division, maybe first or a second, and still get a wild card or a playoff division title. So they'll be fine. I'm remaining calm.
I wish YouTube could have seen Alex's face during that.
Oh, no, we see it. We see it.
I don't know if YouTube can see it.
Yeah, we can see it. Or at least I
Alex.
can see it.
Any thoughts?
So I just like to start this with a wonderful game. It's called Name Those Players Other Than Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Bobby Wagner. This is the section where you name defensive players for the Los Angeles Rams and compare them to the people in their division. Up first, we have corner. Who plays corner for the Los Angeles Rams other than Jalen Ramsey?
Who plays for the Seahawks?
That guy that
Tyreek Woolen?
The guy that Kevin Durant tweeted at, his cousin.
It ain't like it's the quarterback, man. Like first of all, what is that guy's name in Carolina we were thinking about going after? I can never remember his name. But at linebacker, but yeah, losing not Bobby Wagner. What am I saying? Von Miller, that was huge. But you got to give him some time. You got to give him some time.
For you people at home, let me name you those corners. You have Troy Hill, Russ Yeast.
I actually knew Yeast.
Taylor Rapp, who plays safety. David Long Jr., who's decent in my opinion. Sean Jolly.
No Jolly.
Yes, those are their corners.
Well, remember, Colts have French fries on their offensive line. I'm just saying. But
I would just like to compare it to who they play this week at corner. Let me name you the starting corners for 1 second.
It's the Niners. Of course, they're the number one defense. Of course.
Ambry Thomas, Jason Verrett, Emmanuel Mosley, Chavarius Ward, DeMondre Lenore. I can name 5. They have 5 corners. Now, I know not all of them are healthy, but they can name 5 corners.
You just thank you for answering your own question.
This is the problem with the Rams. They have built into this philosophy of just keep hammering. Like the nail is crooked right now, guys. Like the nail's crooked. You got to take a new method to put this nail into the board. Like you won last season, and I get that. But you've lost offense. Your offense is literally just called Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. And how do we get him the ball, Sean McVay? The running game has been completely abandoned to the point where you're talking about trading your running back the deadline. Your second wide receiver is Van Jefferson. Your second and third wide receivers are Van Jefferson and Ben Skoranek. I mean, it just feels like this crazy mad scientist-y thing has just went right into Sean McVay's face. And now he's stuck with a team that, A, they have no picks left, and B, they're struggling to play in the NFC West, and they're struggling to play against the top division in the NFL, i.e. the Bills, when they played them week 1 with a fully healthy team.
Mr. I picked by the numbers. What is the records of all the teams that are in the NFC West right now?
Let me show you. It's
a game.
The Seattle Seahawks at 4-3, the Los Angeles Rams at 3-3, the Arizona Cardinals at 3-4, and the San Francisco Rams at 3-4. Now, while the numbers say things, there's other numbers that say things even worse. Currently, the Los Angeles Rams rank 25th in defensive DVOA. I'm going to name the 3 teams higher than them. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, and the Tennessee Titans. Now, let's name who are the star players on those defenses. Minka Fitzpatrick. Tennessee doesn't have anybody. New England has, oh God, what's his name? Matthew Judon. Like, it should be working in Los Angeles, and it has not worked completely. So I'm just waiting for them to move some people. They need picks back.
We've also, okay, who'd we lose to? Buffalo Bills. Everybody's losing to the Buffalo Bills. We beat the Cardinals once. We haven't played Seattle. We are playing, first of all, I believe at the preseason, we were the hardest schedule in the NFL, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry. We play I believe, NFC East, do we? I think. I know we played the AFC West. Play the AFC West. It's still there's still good teams. We haven't played Denver yet. We haven't played. We'll still have to play Kansas City, but that's who else right now on their schedule can you say definitively that the Rams aren't better, that the Rams are lower than them right now as an overall team?
No, I mean, they're not. They're going to be the underdog in over half of the rest of their games. It goes 49ers, Tampa, Cardinals, Saints,
New Orleans,
Seahawks, Raiders, Packers, Denver, Chargers, Seahawks. They're going to be the underdog in half.
I'm sorry, just half of those things were on the panic or remain calm on this thing. I'm just saying right there. The NFC is not even a beast anymore. It's a little baby lion at this point. All right. This ain't the AFC. Right now, I could see, yes, 49ers look great on paper. But as we know, when's the last time a super team on paper has won the Super Bowl?
Rams last year
after we first that Rams, we weren't an absolute super team.
And the Chiefs.
But the Chiefs.
I mean, I'm just hearing like every team that wins the Super Bowl is a super team, in my opinion. Like, they make some move that brings in a big talent to the building that inherently makes their roster better.
The Ravens were champions, led by the best man in the building of the Jets, Joe Flacco. All right,
I was like 10 when that happened.
Exactly.
Hey, man, I'm older than you, man.
My point here is that I think there is some panic creeping in the Los Angeles Rams peripheral vision. It might not be this year, but I think down the line, you look at the age of some of these guys. The Bobby Wagner signing, quite literally, in my opinion, was the worst free agent signing this season because he's not the pull runner he used to be. I mean, he's just not the same guy he is. He's good stopping the run game, great. But if you're telling me that you have to play Deebo Samuel, Tyler Lockett, and who's there? Oh, Hollywood Brown, D-Hop. Oh, and now Robbie
the
Anderson.
Next topic. That's the only team right now I'm concerned of right now is the Arizona Cardinals.
Those three guys can exploit the middle of the field at any point in any game and beat Bobby Wagner one-on-one without a Jalen Ramsey shadow. That is my stipulation, that Jalen Ramsey will be on them to shadow. And the fact that Sean McVay decides that blitz packages with Jalen Ramsey are the world's greatest thing. So I'm saying panic. I'm sticking with that. I think there's some truth in that statement. And I think you want to say that there's some truth in that statement. You're just holding out on it because you don't want it to creep in yet.
I'm just not saying we aren't the Broncos or Packers right now.
And I'm not saying you're that team, but I think there is a tiny bit. Rishi and Deontay, where were you guys at? I think Deontay, did you say you were remaining calm?
I'm remaining calm on the Rams. Yeah, I think they're good. They're in a good spot, I believe. Not a great spot, but an okay spot.
The Rams are pretty unwatchable right now. Like, their offense is real tough to watch. Like, Cam Akers literally was like, "You guys stink. I'm out." And so I don't
basically.
But the thing is, like, I put them in the same category as like a Bucks team, where it's like they've got enough talent that could carry them to the playoffs. But like, I am not watching any more games of those teams until like maybe week 15.
I'm just saying we have. I don't care what people are saying right now. OBJ still a possibility of free agency. That'll be November, December when coming down the line, and we play Seattle, I believe, twice down that line. We also are playing. We still have the Raiders on the schedule. We still have. The Chiefs are pretty much the hardest team, I believe, still left on our schedule. So, but we have the hardest schedule, and we're 3-3. I'm sorry. I'm remaining calm on this.
I think it's fair.
So Rishi, panic or not?
No, I'll say they're fine. I'm not watching them though.
All right, so we sped up. We went a little longer. This one, I think we're just going to do the Cardinals. I know we went over the Bucks quite in depth earlier. For the Cardinals, I just want you guys to speed run your answers so that we can maybe get through this NFL section a little quicker, because I didn't realize how long we had gone. I'm panicked on the Cardinals. Actually, I'm switching that. I'm calm on the Cardinals. I think that they've made a lot of really good trades. I think it's just I'm waiting for them to get gelled together. Once they're gelled together, I think D-Hop's back in. Maybe Hollywood Brown gets back healthy. I think they're going to be a pretty decent team.
I agree. I'm calm just because the whole division is right there, like one game apart. So I believe like if they can go on a run, they'll be okay. I don't really have much expectations for them though. So that's why I pretty much remain calm.
As a Rams fan, I'm panicked about the Cardinals, but the Cardinals should be remaining calm.
Yeah, I think they can make the playoffs. So I'm cool with that. Make a move though. Make a move.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I was just going to recap some of the moves that were made this week. I know we had a lot of free agents and a lot of people may have missed out on it. We did have Christian McCaffrey traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2023 second round pick, 2023 third round pick, 2023 fourth round pick, and a 2024 fourth round pick. And then just a couple of days ago, James Robinson was sent to the New York Jets after losing Breece Hall in an injury for a 2023 conditional sixth-round pick. Robert Quinn was traded to the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles to add another pass rusher that depth for a 2023 fourth-round pick. Jonathan Hankins, defensive tackle, was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a sixth-round pick. And then yesterday, Kadarius Toney was added to the Kansas City wide receiver depth for a 2023 conditional third-round pick and a 2023 conditional sixth-round pick. There are some players' names who have been floating in the mills currently for rumored to be traded before the deadline. Kareem Hunt, Cam Akers, Chase Claypool, Alvin Kamara, Jerry Jeudy, Kendrick Bourne, and Bradley Chubb. I think the biggest one for me is I'd like to see Kareem Hunt make it out of Cleveland. I think I know the Bills have been rumored to be shopping for a running back. So if he would mosey his way onto the Bills, my fantasy team would be happy. Plus, I think that'd be a really good fit for him. Just a good pass catching back, could quick down, get him in the goal line kind of stuff guy. So I'd be excited if, please, Bills, pick up Kareem Hunt because your running backs kind of stink.
I would like to probably see Alvin Kamara somewhere. I don't know where specifically yet, but I think he is a great talent, and the Saints aren't really winning much games. So if he can go to a contender, I think that'd be pretty good for him. That'd be pretty fun.
Sorry about the dogs in the background, but there Rams can, yes, I know the picks, but Rams can still make a move. You have I don't think we can get Alvin Kamara, of course, but Alvin Kamara, an interesting place, which I am scared to death about, Arizona Cardinals.
That'd be nice, actually. I like that.
That'd be a scary. Was it when Hollywood Brown's healthy, you have 4 weapons on that offense? That would be scary. That would be scary to me, but you also got to look at, okay, pretty much everyone in Pittsburgh's on the trading block. So that, because we realize how good TJ Watt is. I'll tell you that much right now after losing him this year. But you also have the one one of them, because I've tried to get him on fantasy, and you guys know that probably by now. Dameon Pierce. Does he get traded? And to be honest, that's also I would be looking at Arizona Cardinals, New York Giants. I'd be imagine Saquon Barkley and Dameon Pierce in the same backfield. And you can get Saquon Barkley off his feet a little bit, and still keep him healthy for that contract that he's going to be well deserved to get in this offseason.
I don't think that Houston Texans will move on from Dameon Pierce because they have no future other than the fact that they have 2 first-round draft picks if they keep their position currently. I think they might be with a new front office, with some new front office faces. I think they might be trying to build for the future. So I think Dameon Pierce would require at least a first and a third, in my opinion. But I think some of these other guys who are getting a little bit older, Kareem Hunt, Akers, Jerry Judy's really young. But like Claypool, those guys all feel like, they're getting
Akers
close to
old?
another Huh?
Did I miss something? Akers is old? Didn't we just draft him?
He's been in the league for like 4 or 5 years now.
He's probably past the 50% mark on his career. Like if you're looking at his career like that.
Yeah, for running backs.
In career production, yes. But those are the guys I see moving. I don't see any. I mean, I didn't really think Christian McCaffrey was shocking that he got traded. Like I thought he was also in that, but like maybe his dip below his 50% in his career path. So I'm not really surprised. I don't know. I don't see a lot of people moving in the next couple days. If there is a move,
could the Falcons be doing something? They're in it right now. They're in it. Mariota's actually doing a lot better than they thought they would.
We're in it by accident. That's
not.
We're in it by accident.
Okay.
They're just so good at running the football that no one else can figure it out.
I'm just saying, if the Saints are selling, the Carolina's definitely selling. They're pretty much a Canadian team selling at this point. And you have the Buccaneers are 3-5. Someone's got to come out of that NFC South.
We'll ride it out, but I don't think we necessarily want to. But I think Mariota's kind of like a stepping stone until we can find our.
I believe that, but there was plenty of quarterbacks in this upcoming draft to get.
Yeah, but like I said, we keep winning by accident, but we're not just going to blatantly tank. I don't think that's kind of who we are.
Yeah, no, I think
got to be something.
Got anybody?
I think there's so many divisions that are wide open right now. There are not many teams where I would be mad at them making a move right now. And I think all the teams that have made moves so far are teams that are in a position where they should. Like you should be making that push if there are guys available. Especially like, I don't know, I thought they would have gotten at least a first rounder in that Christian McCaffrey trade. I was a little surprised you didn't have a first rounder. I think the Giants got great value for Kadarius Toney, even though it's like you're kind of giving up on a guy that's got a lot of potential.
I like that.
And then I think James Robinson was a pretty cheap pickup too as well.
But I feel so bad for the Jets, man. They cannot buy a break. It's like James Robinson is not Hall. I'm sorry. He's not Hall. He's not going to be Hall. Carter's nowhere near Hall's level of production. So at least
Hall was that offense. He was that entire offense.
Yeah. So that, man, I just feel bad for the Jets every single time they get a chance and it goes like this.
Alrighty. Well, I think we've wrapped up on the professional side of football. I wanted to do a little experiment with college football today.
Here we go.
We're currently in the phases of we're pushing towards the college football playoffs. So I've created a little list today of some teams that I think, they're interesting. I want you guys to tell me where they end up in the AP top 25. The first team is a team that everybody has been super high on this year and has a huge win that we missed last week. The Tennessee Volunteers currently ranked 3rd in the AP poll. Where do we think they are?
So unfortunately, they have to play Georgia, and if they beat Georgia, they have to play Alabama again in the SEC championship. And I don't
Deontay, you're missing who they're playing this week, buddy. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
You think so?
They got what PFF is calling Josh Allen coming after them.
I don't know, but I think.
What are you talking about, Florida? I don't know. I'm not following the SEC, man. I'm so sick of people with the SEC. Who are they playing this week?
Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
That's his team.
That was the team because I always think Kentucky's always going to screw the pooch in big games.
They'll beat Kentucky, I think. Sorry.
12-point favorites right now, according to DraftKings, I believe it was.
But I think Tennessee will end up in the top 10, maybe around that 7 or 8 spot. They'll get a pretty Power 6 bowl game, though.
I'm agreeing on the top 10. I don't think they hold at 3. I think something happens and they fall off.
Yeah, I was talking smack to Alex about, Tennessee and Georgia are gonna whoop on Kentucky, but I don't think I can pick Tennessee to make the college football playoff because of their schedule. Like, there are so many games where you could lose there, but I think if they win all those games, they got to be the favorite to win it all this year.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they can do it.
I'm going to go against you guys. If obviously their schedule is going to be tough, who would have thought the SEC East is going to be the tougher than SEC West? But right now it's looking like that for Tennessee. But you beat Alabama, which, by the way, Bryce Young, God does he have talent? And he went to modern day out where I used to live, out in Santa Ana. So we got to like him, but I have them in the college football playoff. Yep. I don't know if that would be considered my hot take, but
we like to do futures, so I'll toss it in as a futures.
Yeah. I have them right now because I don't think Alabama is going to end up with even in the SEC West representing the SEC West. Bryce Young and who else?
Alabama's the next team, actually. I think they're still a top 5 team, in my opinion. I think it is really hard to say that if Tennessee's as good as they are, that they deserve to lose that game in a very close game that's only decided by a field goal. It's hard to say, wow, they are bad. But they've had moments where they've struggled, but they've also had to play backup quarterback for 2 games this season. So I don't think we have fully seen a healthy Alabama team since the first 3 weeks. So I'm still giving them top 5 just out of the respect category because Nick Saban's Nick Saban.
I'm not an Alabama fan by any means, but I don't ever want to go against Alabama. I think they're going to make college football playoffs. The rest of their schedule is pretty piece of cake, and then they'll just have to play Georgia or Tennessee in the SEC championship. And if they were to lose one of those games, though, I will say that their playoffs would be done. But I think they run the table, and they somehow, Alabama fashion, makes the college football playoffs.
I'm sorry, but I'm saying I should have said this with Tennessee, but I'm not concerned about Georgia. Mizzou wasn't afraid of Georgia. I'm just saying that was a pretty darn close game on their homecoming day. But Alabama has Bryce Young, and then like Alex said in the NFL, who else can you name on their team right now? I know it's college.
I can name a lot of them actually. Kool-Aid McKinstry.
They have the best running back in the country.
Yeah, I'm just saying Bryce Young looks like he could be the next Patrick Mahomes. I really think, because he's going to be shorter, obviously, but I really think he's a mixture of Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes right now.
Say Mahomes and Rodgers, but that's another day.
Yeah, well, Rodgers, let's hope not the attitude, taking that stuff down south, but you got to look at Bryce Young's going to carry this team, and it's how far can he carry this team, especially in the SEC. I did kind of by bowls. I didn't really do it by the AP because really, when does the college football playoff committee start doing rankings?
Pretty sure they
in a
did
few
it.
weeks.
Yeah.
It's
It's
coming up pretty fast.
It's either now or it's soon. It's very soon.
Yeah. So when it comes down to that, it's not going to matter what the AP says. It's gonna. I have actually Alabama in. I put it just in bowls. I put them in the Orange Bowl. So I don't think they're going to be in the college football playoff, but everybody's going to say, well, they're always in the college football playoff, but there's a first time for everything right now.
Rishi?
I respect Nick Saban. Nick Saban's still one of, if not the best head coaches in the NCAA.
I'll look at this at like a CFP perspective instead of like necessarily going through every team. But the more I look at the schedules, like the more clear it seems to me. Like obviously, I'm gonna pick Michigan to win the Big Ten. They're gonna make the college football playoff. But so then if Clemson wins the ACC, they're gonna make the college football playoff. If not, if North Carolina or Syracuse wins it, I think that opens up a chance for like one of the Pac-12 teams to make it, or definitely a second SEC team to make it. But right now, I'd say my locks are Michigan, Georgia, Bama, and then that fourth spot could be Clemson. If they end up losing the ACC, Utah's a sneaky team. Ohio State could always make it. But yeah, I'll give Georgia, Bama, and Michigan as three of my locks for college football playoff.
I'm just saying, USC is still in it. If we're gonna be doing, do you want us just to do by like all the teams right now, or just like the college football
Actually,
playoff?
you know what? Let's just cut this up. We're just gonna put each other's names on here, and we're just gonna say our college football playoff teams.
I got Tennessee's in it. Especially if they win out, obviously, but even with one loss, okay, you beat Alabama at home and surviving that many points scoring against you. That's something. Okay. You have right in the I want to say Ohio State hasn't played a ranked team, which I was actually really surprised on that stat. You would think it was something, but they haven't played Michigan. They played Penn State this weekend. A pissed off Penn State, by the way. And I think they make the college football playoff. I think Michigan makes the college football playoff. The Big Ten becomes the SEC of having two teams in the college football playoff. And then all of a sudden, it's really a toss-up because Clemson, okay, if Syracuse first of all, Syracuse barely beat Purdue. I'm sorry. The refs literally gave that game to Syracuse, if anybody remembers that game. Okay. I was like yelling at the screen. I'm not even a Purdue fan. I was yelling at that screen. But I really think I know I'm a huge USC fan, but I think USC or Utah, depending on who comes out of the Pac-12, or even Oregon. I have those three. I have Tennessee, Ohio State, and Michigan, and then a toss-up who wins the Pac-12. If they have one loss, if they just have one loss, of course, but still.
Okay, and then Rishi, you said Georgia, Michigan, Alabama.
Fourth team, if you want me to give a fourth team, I'll say Clemson. If not, maybe UNC, Utah, one of those Pac-12 teams, something. Maybe Illinois makes it. Shout out Brendan Wheat.
I know I had them on here because I was like, oh my God, Brendan, I'm going to get Brendan on. Brendan's going to be on here to go fighting Illini mode. Deontay, you can rattle yours off for me here, and then I'll go last.
So number one will be the Ohio State University.
Oh God.
They might be bad.
And then I'll go Georgia 2. Actually, Alabama 2, Georgia 3. And then I think somehow Michigan runs the table and they lose to Ohio State, but still get in.
You had
Michigan
OSU, Alabama,
State.
Georgia, Michigan.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's time for Alex to take his honorary flyers. To all you at home, if you bet, I'm not going to put my own money on this because I can't bet legally. I can't bet, and it's illegal if I do it. Kentucky is going to make the college football playoff, and to all you haters at home, We have the third best running back in the nation, the third best quarterback in the nation, and a team who has been together for a really long time, been a really good bowl success team. Mark Stoops has coached this program to be aged like fine wine. And, you know, I think in the NFL, in college football, this is the year where we just see some flyer. Like, we just see some crazy stuff happen. Like, nobody sees it coming. It happens. So I got Kentucky just because go Big Blue, ride or die.
Over my dead body to become a football school over a basketball school, by the way. But
how are you gonna make the SEC championship to begin with?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Called beating Tennessee and Georgia.
You can't beat them twice. You have 2 losses already.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Hey, clip this. If Kentucky does win those games, this will be hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
If Kentucky wins out, I don't think they make the college football playoff. When was the last 2? I don't think we've had a 2. Have we had a 2-loss team in the college football playoff yet? I don't believe so.
I feel like we have definitely had.
I think we have.
Alabama.
Yeah,
Alabama.
Not named Alabama, but yeah.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Listen to this. You imagine Tennessee loses, Georgia loses. They could lose another game at the end of the season. They both end up losing a game. Then you play Alabama. You somehow miraculously beat Alabama from some random way. I don't know. Alabama doesn't make it. Someone else comes out of the West. You can beat them. If for all you crazy people at home saying LSU, no. Just be
no
quiet.
one's talking about Ole Miss either.
No, Ole Miss is trash too.
The ranking says otherwise, but
there has never been a 2-team.
They're higher than Kentucky,
by the way,
aren't they? Just saying.
I still have Kentucky making it just because, you know, ride or die for my team. I'm not fake like anybody else. No, there's no fakeness over here. God, I really hate every other team in here. I take a flyer. I think Georgia only loses 1 game. I think Georgia is better than Alabama, in my opinion, just because they play soft teams all year except for Kentucky. God, I hate the Big Ten with a burning passion because you all really play some soft teams at Michigan and Ohio State. Your guys' schedules are jokes now. I just saw Michigan's schedule for next year, and they open up with IU. I'm like, can you play some real competition? Like, you guys played like Hawaii this year. Like,
well, remember in when's USC and UCLA joined the Big Ten in 2024, right? I believe.
Yeah. Well,
move. Then you're going to be moving Purdue over. Then that whole entire side's going to be very interesting in the Big Ten West, I guess you would call it.
But I like Michigan the most. I think Michigan beats Ohio State somehow. I just don't like Ohio State personally.
Oh, you're not the only one, brother.
I just think the fact that their defense still hasn't proved. I really liked our defensive coordinator, but he still hasn't proved to me that they're like a elite unit. Pac-12 just also I can't stand because I feel like that's also like a layup conference occasionally. So I'm going to go Clemson because I think it is very interesting the fact that they have 2 quarterbacks currently that are insane, and that both could come out and throw for 300 yards and run for 100 yards on the ground. So I go Clemson, but if there's teams I'd put in the fringe, I'd probably put USC in there just because nobody's going to beat USC, because I don't think Utah has proved yet that they're like amazing. And I don't know if Oregon's proved that their offense is a sustainable model. So
no one's talked about TCU. What about TCU?
No, they're going to
12. That Big 12 is harder right now than, well, yes, SEC West, it seems right now.
I want to say that I think it is probably one of the most depleted Power 5 conferences currently. The fact that you're winning in this conference is not really like a
ACC's worse. ACC's worse.
No, I think the ACC, the Demon Deep between Drake May, Sam Hartman, DJ Ugalele. I really do like. I could not name you another Big 12 quarterback other than Adrian Martinez, because they're not very good. It's like a very like defensive. We're just gonna like it's like the worst league. It's like it's just a shootout each week. So I don't think TCU makes it just because the fact that if it's not Oklahoma, it's not anybody else. So that
Even
is
if-
what I
yeah,
had. Anybody else got anything? Rishi's crunching the numbers for how Kentucky makes the national
so I do
championship.
want to point something out, like not to beat a dead horse, but like you were like, oh, I only have Georgia losing one more game this year. It's like, well, if they only lose one more game this year, then Kentucky can't make the SEC championship. But we don't have to dwell on that.
All right, I'll change it up. We'll switch Alabama in for them.
I'll support you.
Bama. You guys, I don't get it. You like, I understand it. Like you guys all want to say right out Kentucky, but you know, from somebody who has to watch them every single week and watches everybody else every single week, I don't look at teams that are like, not every team is complete from top to bottom. That's my problem with the SEC. Like there's teams that have very sizable holes. And I feel like Kentucky has somehow mixed and matched their way to cover each hole and truly build a like decent program. And I think at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to get out. Like they're not going to throw themselves out of a game, but I don't know if they're going to throw themselves into a game. That's where I'm at. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks who can throw themselves out of a game somehow. I don't think Stetson Bennett's great. I've still had this hot take forever. I think he's just a trash quarterback who has a great coach that just coached him to be amazing. Bryce Young still hasn't proven that he can sustain hits over a long basis. The fact that pro scouts were saying that he was too skinny when he weighed in this summer still has me a little bit nervous. Hendon Hooker truly hasn't proved that he is like, I mean, like I get it. He threw 5 touchdowns to the same guy in one game. That guy had a great day, but like, let's throw the ball to somebody else here. It's just like, I don't have trust. And like Will Levis, I know is not great. Everybody doesn't like him, but like dude's just going to play hard. Like we're just going to play hard. That's it. We're just going to ball. That's my only conversation. I know there's no analytics behind this. It's just, I love them to death and I hope they do something.
I'm saying
So-
I just want to point out because yes, I grew up in California, but someone's got to watch that Pac-12. Okay, we have Utah, Oregon, UCLA, and USC all ranked in the top 25. For the first time in a long time, we have four teams in the top 25. That's better than the ACC or as good as the ACC. I'm sorry, would you rather take USC or Wake Forest right now? I'd rather take USC over Clemson. Right
Okay,
now.
I feel like that is a very loaded question because Wake Forest does not have the financial backing that USC has.
Yeah.
Now, if we put them in the limelight of like number ones in their conference, I'm not picking USC as the number ones in conferences. I'm looking at like Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State. Then we get down the list and we're like past the Big 12 and SEC teams. I'm like, okay, yeah, USC's good. But I don't think sustained success. I don't think there's sustained success. They don't have a sustained success model to play a top 5 team. I don't think we've seen it yet. And I think that's the reason they don't make it in is because they haven't played a top 5 team. I think everybody this year who makes it in the college football playoff will have to either be A, in the top 5 from the start, or B, beat a top 5 team.
I'll tell you this, best offense in the country. Nobody's talking about is USC. Best offense in the country. If you're run by Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley, you have a chance. Oklahoma proved that, and look how Oklahoma's doing this year.
I mean, but you could say that
he
pulled Caleb Williams. So, and you could say they got lucky. Jordan Addison wanted to move out of Pitt. I mean, no offense. There was bread talking on that one. There was some money behind that one.
We have a few Hall of Famer sons too on the team. I'm just saying. Look at that sideline.
I'm not discounting that they're like bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Put them up against top 5 teams in other divisions. I'm probably taking another division. All right, now on
I'll
to
take that. I'll never have to prove. I'm taking Illinois over USC.
Okay.
great, Rishi.
When
Lovely to
has the
see it.
last
Lovely to see
I'll-
it.
sports
leave
team
us
in
on that.
Illinois been good? Darren Williams, I believe, was on the team. That was Illinois basketball, I believe, and that was probably before you were born.
I don't know. Illinois just lurking in the shadows. We are on to the NBA. The NBA season did start last week. I know we kind of did this segment a couple of weeks ago, but I want to just go through this. The first category is NBA championship contender. So just give me your team. Give me a quick reason why you think they're going to be in NBA championship. Maybe highlight a star player, highlight how weak their conference is, just something quick. And then we'll go through. We have NBA championship contender, sneaky good team. This isn't a team that's going to be like amazing. They're not going to be like superstar, like breakout, like beat the world kind of vibes, but just like a good team, probably going to be in like the middle of the playoff run. A team that can make a run in the playoffs. I'm thinking this is a team that's like makes it in like in the last seed or as a play-in team. And then I do have the tank for the lottery because of course Victor Wembanyama and the top 3 picks are just amazing next year, according to draft analysts. I don't know. I'm not a big NBA guy, so like I just read whatever the news says, which is probably not good. But I'm just following what they say. So give me your picks. We're gonna first start off with NBA championship contender. Who would like to start with their contender and why?
I'll go. Actually, I have 2 contenders: Bucks, Warriors. The 2 best complete teams in my opinion. That's my. One has Steph Curry, one has Giannis. There you go. Case closed.
Yeah, I like the Warriors. They're pretty well rounded. They're defending champs. Didn't lose anything really. There's pretty much nothing to say about that. It's pretty.
Feels fair. Rishi,
I
Mr.
think the
NBA.
Grizz are tough. I think the Grizz are tough to beat this year, but the first team I would put money on to win the title is the Warriors for sure.
Man, you all love those Warriors.
And I'm a Lakers fan. This sucks.
I did my little
Damn.
my little data analytics kind of thing. I'm really big on the Celtics. Shout out Dallas Turner, my roommate, absolute massive Celtics fan. Malcolm Brogdon has really slotted into that team nice. It was a great rotation that played last year. You can say whatever you can say about the finals. They're a really good team. I think quite possibly the best team in the East currently. Next to the Bucks, like I don't really see anyone else being like as scary. Like, I mean, you could throw the Hawks in there, you could throw the Bulls, but like the Nets, if the Nets catch fire and actually play good, but the Nets are 1-4 to start. The Pacers have the same record as them, which is mind blowing. But like I just really think the Celtics are a well-rounded team. They can shoot well, they can play big, they can play small. I just like them. I think the East will be easier to make it out of if you can beat the Bucks. Then we have the sneaky good team category. Who would like to start out in sneaky good?
I can go first. For me, when I think of sneaky good, it's like they don't have really much expectations, but like they can beat some pretty good teams and have a day. And I'm going to go with the Trailblazers. They kind of have unloaded everybody, but right now they started off 4-1, and Damian Lillard looks pretty darn good, and he's playing with a lot of young guys. So I really like them being a sneaky good team, and they can possibly make like the play-in. And yeah, I like them making the play-in, and wherever it goes from there, that's on them. But I like them being a sneaky good team.
So the correct answer to this question is the Utah Jazz. Like they're actually like very sneakily like well-rounded.
Oh man.
But
Rishi, why are you and I thinking the same thing here, man?
Okay, and like I think Colin Sexton, awesome deal, great value. But the team I want to say is the Pelicans because I love Brandon Ingram and love Zion Williamson. They're a good team if they can stay healthy.
Why don't you just kill me now saying the Pelicans? Oh boy. Because my Lakers trading to them. Oh God, kill me. But sneaky good teams, I think there's not a lot in the East other than the Cleveland Cavaliers when healthy. When fully healthy, Cleveland can be a very, very dangerous team. I'm with Rishi on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies can be up there too. I have the Toronto Raptors as well because Toronto's always seems consistent. And then my man Luka Doncic in Dallas. I know they haven't shown it yet, but if Luka will be up there with Giannis for years to come as the face of the NBA.
Yeah, I like the Cavs, but I feel like the Cavs may have crept above a sneaky good team by picking up Donovan Mitchell because I just feel like they loaded up on some superstars. I mean, they're pretty good. A lot of people are regarding them as a great team. I wanted to follow suit with Rishi on the Jazz. I really like their lineup. I mean, like it's just like one of my favorite lineups. Just as like we're not going to be amazing in one position, but we're going to be pretty darn good. I mean, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, Jared Vanderbilt, Kelly Olynyk, Colin Sexton, Taylor Horton Tucker, Rudy Gay, Walker Kessler, Ochai Abaji, Azubuike.
That team.
I don't think Ochai is even in the rotation. Like that's how deep they are.
But that's my point. Like you can play these guys at some point. So I just really like them. If I'm going with somebody from the East, I always want to say the Heat's sneaky good, but like the Heat feels kind of sweaty now. Like
no pun intended.
Yeah. I really like the Pistons, and I think the start of the season wasn't a very good start, but I think they just have a lot of really good talent, and watching them play in person this season, I just really like them. So I'm going to toss them in there. Maybe I'm going to move them down. They'll be could make a run in the playoffs if they get good luck, barring good luck. I just like how their lineup's built. I think it's kind of the same way as the Grizzlies or as the Jazz, where it's like a very well-constructed team. The team will have to form and mesh into what they are. So let's do could make a run in the playoffs. Rishi, you can open. I'd like for you to open up this one.
When I was thinking about this, the conclusion I came to was like the Western Conference playoffs this year, I think is potentially going to be some of the most fun basketball we've seen in a long time. Like there are some great matchups to be made in the Western Conference this year. The team I'm going to say is the Nuggets. I think I always love when teams trade for a role player where it's like, oh, they just fit that team so well. I love KCP on the Nuggets. And I think also they're in a situation where if they don't make a finals run this year, maybe next year, like they're probably going to end up blowing it up a little bit if they don't see some success this year or next year.
I'm in the same boat with the Nuggets. I like them too.
I think it was hard to, especially in the West, to define between sneaky good teams and make a run in the playoffs because I think a lot of them apply to both. I think since I moved Dallas up, obviously the Suns. No one's talking about the Suns, but they're still pretty darn good. You have I kind of put because the West is so darn good. No one's talked about the Clippers. No one. They still can be solid. You still have the T-Wolves. You still have, which they will get it together once they figure out Gobert and Town situation. But D'Angelo Russell's pretty darn good. So and Anthony Edwards is still on that team. So got to remember that. But yeah, the West, it's really hard to pick. Every single team could make a run in the playoffs. Like Rishi said, it's going to be fun. Watching it, especially in the Western Conference.
Deontay?
I got a team from each conference. I think, like you guys said earlier, the sneaky good teams that couldn't make a run in playoffs kind of can run together. But I think if this team has the perfect setup, they can honestly go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. I really like what they have, adding Donovan Mitchell. I know they didn't make the playoffs last year, but if they get the right draw, I honestly think they can go to the Eastern Conference Finals if everything goes well. And for the West, I would say the New Orleans Pelicans, honestly. I think they have a really, really good team. Them as well, if they get a good draw, I think they can go to the Western Conference Finals. If everyone stays healthy, that, of course, injuries always play a part in the NBA.
West is 11 deep. I think one team is in the Western Conference is going to deserve to make the playoffs, probably maybe even the 4th seed in the East, and not make the playoffs, not even the play-in games.
True. But yeah, I like the Cavaliers on the East and the Pelicans on the West.
Okay, now we have the most fun part, the tank for the lottery. Who's tanking for Victor here? Who's on the tank train already? I mean, we all know that the Orlando Magic are on the tank train. I mean, they're on
There goes number one. Yeah, but yeah. I guess I'll start. I have Orlando, obviously. Thunder, who actually, I think that injury to I can never remember his name.
Chet Holmgren.
Yes, thank you. Is actually a godsend for them, because I don't know what do they have, like the 5th half of the first round picks of this next draft. You have the Spurs should be tanking, but right now they're actually doing pretty well, and Indiana should be tanking. I'm sorry, Indiana Pacers. You are a young team, and it's going to be hard to tank in the Eastern Conference because it's at least at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, or mid to bottom. But
I don't think it's that hard, actually. I mean, I'm looking at
Pistons.
you
still have Pistons,
like the Pistons, Magic, and the Wizards. If the Wizards aren't playing good, and then the Knicks are playing decent. So, right now, how it is, I mean, you might be fighting like the Hornets if the Hornets decide to blow it up again.
Well, it depends if LaMelo Ball is back, when LaMelo Ball is back. So,
yeah.
I'll go. Honestly, I think the Spurs or the Pacers to tank. I see those, especially the Spurs, are good organizations that a player like Vic will thrive in, even though he's a generational talent. But those type of organizations like the Pacers or the Spurs, I think will be a good suitable piece for him, because the way they go about their business, they're pretty structured organizations, and not like the Kings where they're just all over the place and haven't made the playoffs in forever, or the Rockets who just don't really have a direction without James Harden or whatever. So I really like the Spurs or the Pacers for him.
Yeah, the Pacers are one of my favorite teams to watch this year, and I think if they get 2 firsts for Buddy and Miles Turner, you get to play all your young guys. You get 2 firsts that, as of right now, if they're those Lakers first, probably look pretty nice if they're unprotected. So, yeah, but I also put them in a team or a tier of teams where it's you're not necessarily choosing to tank. If you put your best 5 guys out there, you still might not make the playoffs. It's going to be tough for you to still make the playoffs. A team where maybe they're expected to make that lower end of the playoffs that I would tell them to tank is the Hornets, because I don't know, they're not going to make any playoff noise this year. And if you could get a top pick to pair with LaMelo, then maybe you convince him to stay. Otherwise, he might be out of Charlotte in a couple of years.
I'm in LA. I'm just saying, maybe that might be a hot take in a few years.
Oh God, this is tough. The team I really like the Spurs, and I want to tell them to tank, but they also are just playing weirdly good through 5 games. But is that a sustainable model? Probably not. I still really like the Rockets. I think the Rockets are very close to being good. I don't think they're going to get 1. That is my problem. I don't think they get 1. So I think you're looking at, is it worth being bad to be at 2, 3, 3 plus? I mean, I'm saying I think it'd be good to be at 3. I think they still have a lot of guys who start right now that could probably get bumped to the bench. If you were to get a big small forward center in, I know everyone likes Alperen Sengun because the dude's just a meme. But a really good player would help this team. So my pick's the Rockets, but also the Pacers. Like Rishi said, I think that trade does have to go through. I really hate having Russell Westbrook on the Pacers.
No, you buy him out. You got to buy him.
Yeah, you're buying him out. He's going to be sitting on the couch with $47 million right next to him.
I honestly wonder, though, if you bring him in and just let him play, bring him off the bench and just bring people into the stands, though.
Make the Pacers lose.
Insurance.
I can almost guarantee Russell Westbrook will not come off the bench for the Pacers.
He won't even come off the bench for the Lakers.
But I mean, yeah, those are my two teams. That's what I'm sticking with. On to the pressing matter that starts tonight. We have the World Series in which nobody predicted. I'm going to recap our World Series picks. I had Cleveland playing the Braves. Both teams were eliminated. Dallas had Houston versus Atlanta. Rishi had Houston versus St. Louis. Rishi, you were close. You just picked the wrong team out of that game. Adam, unfortunately, went 0 for 2 and went Blue Jays and Dodgers. And Luke went 0 for 2 with Yankees versus Atlanta.
I'm wrong too, by the way. My pick was I actually picked the Astros, even though I hate them with a burning passion. And I picked what was I was picking the Dodgers, but obviously.
Yeah, so I know I really wanted Cleveland to make the ALDS though, or the ALCS, because I thought Cleveland's a good team. But my pick, hot take-ish, I think the Phillies win 6. I think the struggles are going to be in the Astros bats. There's only a few good players who are hitting really good right now. Pena, Alvarez, and like the combination between Tucker and Bregman, it really is like a game-to-game basis. And I really like the Phillies pitching versus them. I really like Syndergaard, Nola, and Wheeler. Plus, they have a really good bullpen. So I just like the Phillies. I just think it's tough. All their bats seem hot at the very right time. So I think the Phillies may have the better mix of pitching and batting.
Yeah, I'm not a huge baseball guy. I'll leave that to you guys, but I will have to go Astros in 5. The cheaters will prevail somehow, some way. When they're down, they just keep coming. So I think they win it all in 5.
I agree with Deontay. Exactly. I have the Astros in 5. I'm praying to God the Phillies win somehow, but when you have Verlander, Valdez, McCullers, and then you have that offense with, we have a great offense. Oh yeah, we have Yordan Alvarez as well. So everybody thinks about that. It's like putting not Shohei Ohtani in the lineup, but it's kind of like this team should be in the World Series. Oh yeah, they have Yordan Alvarez too. Let's never talk about him.
Alex knows this. I'm in on Phillies in 6. I don't want to see my boy Justin Verlander get raked on, but I do think the Phillies.
Oh, I think he's gonna get mashed game 1 tonight. I think this is how the Phillies jump out and scare people, is they just come out in game 1. It's tough. I think it's the toughest lineup to pitch against and in this postseason so far.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, I mean, those guys are just raking currently, and I think the rest of their lineup's good for a decent bat. Like, they're going to work the count, they're going to be smart. I think the plus side is that the Astros destroyed New York, so they do have a little bit more health and a little more longevity. The Phillies had to go pretty deep in some games, but I really like it. Now we are on to our hot takes section, but we're going to go back. We had 2 weeks ago. We had a pretty rough day, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Deontay, you and I struggled. I had Cooper Rush going 6-0. Rest in peace, Cooper Rush's playing career. It's over again. Deontay had Lamar with 200 passing yards, 100 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, Jalen Hurts touchdown, and the Eagles win. The Falcons beat the 49ers. I unfortunately think Lamar did not throw 3 touchdowns that day. So that was missed.
Lamar, Jalen Hurts, the Eagles won, and Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that, but everything else was not.
Yeah, you were getting there. Ryland picked Geno Smith is better than Kyler in this game. That was true. The Seahawks did win. Geno did not throw 3 touchdowns. Mahomes and Allen show the best quarterbacks in the league. That is true. And Trevor Lawrence did not have his worst game, but it kind of felt like it. That only brought Deontay and Ryland are only down to 0-1 now. So there you could be back to 500 this week. Unfortunately, Adam does continue his unfortunate streak. He picked the wrong time for the Giants to get hot. He was so close yet so far. He had Giants win. Daniel Jones, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, and 5 interceptions in the Colt Jags game. We were short on that by, I want to say it was only 3. So on to this week's hot takes. I do have to throw out the honorary hot take from Dallas, my roommate. He did give the Astros throw a no-hitter in game 2. The probability of a no-hitter is like really low. If anybody's wondering, it's like almost like 0.2% that it happens a game. So go Dallas and beating the odds. Who else would like to go next?
I'll go. Since I think I already put one down. Just for this, we just doing this week, I'm guessing. This week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
We go into the future too a little bit.
Okay.
I'll track it. I track it all on sheets, so I'll go back through later on through the year and add stuff and take stuff out.
I didn't see the point line when before I made this pick, so it's not really a hot take, but I put down Notre Dame will upset Syracuse on the road. Syracuse is only favored by I think 1.5 or something like that, or close to it. Let me see. I think I really, in the ones in the future, I think my other hot take, I think are already shared too, is Alabama does not make the college football playoff. And you also have, I really believe the 49ers, man, I hate to say this too, because I don't want to jinx it for my Rams either. But I don't think the 49ers even definitely don't win the division, but they may not make the playoffs, which scares the heck out of me because I'm usually wrong about these things. But I don't think they'll win on paper. I really win off just being good on paper. I really don't. They still have the Rams type of schedule too, so
never know. We still got like what? We're in week 8.
Yeah, we got a lot of time. So
we got 9 weeks of football left, plus whoever has a bye. Deontay Rishi, who wants to go here?
I'll go. Gonna redeem myself. Try to go 1-1 this week. I'm keep it to 1 game, and I say the Browns beat the Bengals Monday Night Football.
Oh, thank goodness Dallas isn't on here. He would be all over that. Rishi, would you like to close us out, or would you like my super leg parlay to come in?
You don't want me to close it out. Definitely not. I was trying to think of one that we could check in on next week, and nothing was coming to me. Like I got one. Like you guys tell me if this is a hot take. Saying Tennessee will finish outside the AP top 10. Is that?
I think that's a hot take.
I'll put that as a hot take if that counts.
More of a hot take than Tennessee actually making the college football playoffs, though.
Okay, yeah, I feel more confident in saying they're outside the top 10 than making the CFP. And then I also was thinking like, oh, if Penn State, Ohio State is close, then like Ohio State stinks because I watched Penn State last week or 2 weeks ago and they're not good. But that's not really even a take. So my official hot take for the week, I'm going back to, oh no, don't say that. I'm going back to my darts days, except I picked something new. I went deep into my hot take bag. I'm going with to win the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Golf. I'm taking, wait, where'd he go? Richie Wierenski's playing some solid golf right now.
How do I spell that name?
Don't worry. He'll be all over the papers on Monday anyway. So like
Dude, I shouldn't have brought up darts in this episode. I think did I give you the idea halfway?
Well, I couldn't think of anything.
Rishi it was the college football playoff last year, and it was Alabama or it was Michigan versus somebody, and it was Michigan versus Cincinnati, right?
They didn't end up playing, but
you wouldn't pick like he made like this super anonymous like, oh, if this guy wins in darts, this is who I think wins, and it was like the weirdest thing ever, and it did not hit.
For the record,
so as Rishi knows,
0-for-1.
I may have sent him my super leg parlay in confidence this week. I don't know how confident I'm feeling.
It stinks.
So I have Kentucky beats Tennessee by a touchdown. Then I have the Phillies win the World Series in 6. And then to finish it out, I have the Packers beating the Bills by a touchdown.
I want to change mine now.
For 3. My goodness.
I think
I told you guys, if I hit this week, I think I'm renaming the show after myself as a creative.
You need to go play the lottery if you hit.
Well, if you're going,
I will be. I'll be running to the gas station to go buy a lottery ticket.
If we're just going in by a week, I do have two more then. After Notre Dame will upset Syracuse, Tennessee will win. Tennessee will win. Take the points, by the way, which is -12, I believe, right now. And you have the Astros will win the World Series by the time we have a show next week. I don't know how long that really. I might be already jinxing already, but I think the Astros will be sadly world champions before we have a show next week.
That's a bold take.
I'm praying to God I'm wrong too.
All righty. Well, we got a lot to watch out for this week. I will be sending updates in the group chat on. Technically, mine spans all week, so I'm going to be sweating all week about this one. So you guys will see some updates. It's been great having you guys on the show. As always, we're so glad to have all you viewers here. I do not know how many there are. I have not checked the stream in a while, but glad if you're here. Glad if you're stopping by to watch it posthumously. It's always appreciated. If you always want to be on, just reach out to me. What a great show, gentlemen. It's been glad to have you, and I'll catch up with you guys next week.
Good night, your Belinda. Good night, your